Alrighty, so I'm gonna do a real quick video here for something for nostalgia reasons. Um, I bought my childhood bike back. It's just a earlier upgraded version of the one I had when I was a kid. Bought it for $60 off the original owners, and done some upgrades ish to it, and the plans I have for it. And I'll walk you through. So this here is a 1998 Trek TR30. I had an older version. I had a 2001 TR10. Differentiation between the 30 and the 10 is the three-piece cranks. That's it. 10 had a one piece, and this had the 30, the three piece. The bike is in military green, army green. You kind of see it ish, kind of. This bike is so faded and whatnot that, yeah. Anyway, you can still see kind of the motifs here from the army coloration they were going for at the time. Um, these pedals are very nice, cheap pedals. I mean, very nice, cheap pedals. Anyway, so there was supposed to be military green. They looked military green in the ad, but then they got here, it looked more fluorescent, but I really liked them, so I was like, forget it. I'm not going for perfection. I'm trying to match colors completely here. This seat is from, or it's a different version of my seat for my bike, so it came in like a drab army green, so I just bought it. ODI grips, military green, proper. I bought different wheels, tires, tubes. Um, the original wheels on this thing were broken and destroyed. It was cheaper just to buy wheels and tires and do everything at the one time than try to relace them and so forth. I get different size nuts. These guys here, because of that, the spacing between the gap here is these axles are much thinner. So these nuts take up on the end there. They have a bit of a nub on the end to take up the space in there, so you can center it up pretty good. I just take off my brakes because I'm a cool guy, very macho. You know, I just realized this not that long ago before I put the bike up here to do this stupid video that my chain is way too tight. It's perfectly centered, but way too tight. So I'll have to fix that later. This is a 44 tooth stamped steel sprocket with the bear claw. My bike had the same thing. The original sprocket back here, the freewheel, was a 16 tooth. It's this one on here I put on here is the 17 tooth from, yet again, my bike. It's a common theme here, hand-me-downs. That stem you see right there, that's the original from my bike as well. So, a lot of hand-me-downs. The ball and cage, everything on this bike. I put new bearings, seals, re-grease, packed it like anything, same thing with a C-tube. This is the original post tube mechanism. That's not right. That's not right at all. I took the gyro off because who the hell wants a gyro? Other than that, because it was missing componentry. Again, re-grease and everything else in there. New wheels, tires, tube, and so forth. So these ones, they came original 1.195 in the front, and in the rear was 2.195 in the rear. So it was different, very different, very different. Handlebars, these are cheap ones from Amazon. I think these are they're not chromoly. This is stamped steel, like the high tin crap. Um, they came 32 inches wide. Who the hell buys handlebars that are that wide? Okay, well, clearly I did, yes, but I cut these things down. These are now 26, but it looks ridiculous because of the gap here. Just there's never going to be a grip there or a lever there, so I'm gonna cut these down to 24s, make it look legit. Now my bike when I was a kid, before my Trek, I had was an Adrenaline Rhino. It was from Toys R Us, and I put 22-inch bars on that. I just kept cutting the damn things down. 22s. I'll do it again. I don't care. Screw you. But it's a fairly good condition. A lot of rust, a lot of corrosion, a lot of pitting. You can kind of see the green on here. I'm just not going to buff it out. I don't care. When I'm done with this bike, it's going to make this one trip, and I'm going to talk you guys through in a minute. It's going to make this one trip. Maybe I'll ride it through, take it to work and ride it around. But other than that, I'm just going to sell it when I'm done with it. Not nostalgia for me, having this thing back. And I have ridden it a few times. Still needs some tuning in, some dialing in. For instance, like, my chain, uh, best chain in the world, but it's only as good as the idiot that installs it. Yeah. So, you walk me through my plans for this. So the very last time I made a trip on my original trek, um, I was 15, maybe even 16. My buddy Jordan had just lost his permit because he got caught steering with, riding or driving without his permit, and I did the same thing. But we went on a road trip from my house in Lansdale, and we went to North Wales, which we did 2 or 3 times a day, many times a week for many years. That was the norm, just back and forth between our 3 houses many times. So talk about cardio on a 20-inch BMX bike with 44 tooth. So we did that quite a lot. So the last time I made that ride, I was adamant, I'm not going there to, for you guys to go get high. If we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do something, or we're gonna do video games, or what are we doing? And I was told, oh, we're just gonna do video games. Cool. So I got there, toked up immediately, and I stayed for about an hour, and I just left. So I just went up, took a piss, and just kept on going. Didn't think for a second, just kept going. That was the last time I hung out with Rocky Jordan, the last time I talked to him until I bumped into Rocky some years later. It was the last time. I rode home from his house that last time on my bike, and the ride home, instead of racing home and getting there with intent, it was just me just riding, going, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? So self-realization. And first time in my life I really had that sense of, you're better than that. You need to give yourself more credit. And getting the realization that, dude, when you get pent up with this kind of stuff, just move on. Just let it go. And that was one of those times where I just said, it's time to let it go. And that's what I did. I let it go. Unfortunately, it took another 10 years of searching, of hate and anger and just frustration and rage. And some other things I'm not going to say. A lot of it had to do with talking with my aunt in Philly, for one thing. Your realization, what are you talking about? What are you doing? What are you complaining about? That kind of thing. Classic white kid problems, But luckily my grandmother gave me a pair of binoculars for graduation, which I still have. They're still sitting on the table there. I actually use them quite a lot with the wife. So the idea for this video is, you're never going to move on unless you get so sick and tired of being sick and tired. You can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. And yeah, at that time I wanted help and I wasn't getting it the way I needed it, and I did it myself. So the last time I rode that bike, part of nostalgia, I'm going to be 40 years old this year, 40. And I decided I'm in better shape than I've ever been in my life. Let me see if I can make that ride again. The same ride, the Lansdale to Northwest. So I'm going to park across the street of the baseball fields from my old house. So I'm not just pulling out to my old house like a creeper. The baseball field's across the street. I'm going to go from there. Buddy Rocky's house. There's a 7-Eleven right down the street from his old house. So I'm just going to go there to that 7-Eleven, which was funny because my buddy Jordan, or Brian, lives right there right now. So works out great. But I made that ride with my wife, so she can see the ropes where I came from, the cruising grounds I used to have all the time, and gives her a chance to ride with me on her bike through my cruising grounds. So there's a reason I'm doing this, for many reasons, but mainly to see, one, if I can still do it, but two, because I'm proud of myself, where I've come from, what I've done. And even though it's not the worst horror story life anybody's ever heard of, for me, knowing what I did, what I put myself through, and what I came through, and how I live my life now, how my outlook on things now, it's vastly different. Vastly. So kind of a stoic mentality of, it's not that important, nothing I can do about it. Anyway, what else is there to do? What else is on? That kind of thing. And I'm going to do it on this dude. So I still have my 26-inch. I'm never getting rid of it. This bike is dialed in like crazy. It's just the toughest nails. It probably has close to 1,000 miles on it already, if not a little more than that, actually. But it's never given me an ounce of trouble. Everything's upgraded and updated, and it's right and tight, and everything's dialed in. It's perfect. My bike is 28 pounds. Hers is 27. This is a 38-pound bike. 38 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. Don't tell me about cardio. Don't tell me about wattages and all this other crap. Kilocalories and calories and shit. I don't hear none of your crazy nonsense. Until you can ride this thing 5 miles, yeah, that's gonna kill me. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna kill me. Okay, see ya.